Hello and welcome. It is the completion of the 23rd day of May 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and of the like. Well, that is within each's own risk and their own reward. And for myself, risk reward management is always job number one. I got a lot of stuff to go over in this video. First off, Theta Fuel. Well, I got in my sell last one at 144. The high so far 149. Currently in at 134 on the single hour term time frame. Yeah, yada yada stuff. Go 27 down here. Ooh, we just spike up to 100, and then pull back down to 66. I was able to get one buyback in here, and I just sold that buyback just moments ago at 101 or 99 rather 99. And then again at like 144. As we take a look at this on like 4-minute time frame, even just the wild moves, like 1904, 7 p.m. Eastern time, like 88. And then it goes up to but 120 at 8 p.m. and change. And then we're topping here at the 148 level at 940. So it's not that long of a move. 2 hours and change. Whether it's over or not, I don't know. I sold that 100, and then I got 140. I'm probably not going to look to sell again until near 200 if it keeps going higher. If it goes lower, then I'll get my buyback in. I got a lot to go over. Let's go over Theta next. And we'll look at it right from the short term to start at 3,489 Satoshi. I'm going to look at this against the dollar as well because it's just interesting when you look at key levels on each one because they're both pretty much at it. Anyway. That means it's like, well, Bitcoin's 10,000. No, it's not. It's about 10% lower, 92. So 10% lower than this. Okay, 31 cents or so if you're looking at that. Well, we'll see that price in a little bit. I haven't seen it, but I pretty much know what the chart looks like. But just a phenomenal run here, doing the same thing like Theta, 3,200 to 37 on the daily term time frame. This is event or situation numero 4 or un, deux, trois, quatre, which is French. I just had to count the first 3 numerals in order to find the number. I took 9 years of French in school. I barely know much of it at all. Grades 1 through 9. Je ne parle pas français. I'm going to do an intro one time with like two sentences on français. Because I can do a little bit, but not much. I might not. Anyway, I got a lot to go over. So 35.25 Satoshi. Beautiful run from this 1,000 area back in here. Even 900 when you look at the lows down in this point here. So we've had like a 4x move, but again, this is a 4 situation. 4 situation for what? Well, 4 situation for 3,500-ish area. Number 1 was the Binance Open. For the market was below here when it was trading on Huobi beforehand. It opened in like February of 2018, and then it got to this high. Pullback. Numero 2, D-E-U-X, I think it's spelled, for 2 in French. I think. 9 years in French, and I only know a little bit. This high was near 3,600. This took a few hours to go up and a few hours to go down. One of the spots where it was 4 hours up, 4 hours down. So, I mean, I had my sellers in place for that time, and I got my sells and my buybacks fast. The last time before, or the time after that, the third time that it came up to 3,600, it did so over several days, and it retraced over several more, but coming back not only to where it came from, but really resisting the previous congestion area that it had for a significant period of time. And the significant period of time came to a conclusion when it made a statement at the end of April. Yeah, by the way, we're breaking into the 18 average of highs. And one of the things I say if it gets above this resistance, expect a serious move. And guess what? It's having a serious move. I fully expect this thing to go to previous high near even this 5,000 at least, and who knows, this thing could have a good pop. I mean, I'm not saying it's just going to keep going higher. Of course not, but the potential to do so is there, and if key resistance gets broken, then it's just going to keep going until it stops, and the higher it goes, the bigger the pullback it is. I'm hoping for at least, based on my portfolio and the way I'm positioning, 5,000 is what I'm hoping I at least get, and because it's one of my bigger holdings, of course, risk-reward management is number 1. I got a situational plan. How am I going to play each leg higher if it goes? Because every time it goes up a bit, I'm going to sell. And let me see this on the hourly time frame. I got a little indicator in there telling me that if this thing is able to go up to this point, then I'm going to look towards selling. Now, I was making my deposit as it was going north of this level. I deposited my T-Fuel. I deposited my Theta But theta went up or down after this, and I really don't want to sell any theta right now. Not much at all. My ratio is already big because I'm looking to sell at big levels, and I'm doing a good job of it. Meaning I could sell a bunch right now, but no, I want, because I've been selling so much theta for other coins. I'm looking to get the best opportunities that I can, but I realize it's going to come down and the buybacks are going to happen because all these other coins, one of the times, who knows, one day, oh, this coin's starting a rally, and they do it when it's ready more times than not. But one of the things I keep saying on this channel, but not as much lately as years and months past, when these cryptocurrencies are ready to go, boy, can they ever go. And, well, right now, Theta's doing the trick right now. Let's now transition into BTC against, actually no, Theta. I want to think about it now. We'll get back into Bitcoin a bit, Theta against the dollar. $32. Now, the big level, I think, is like 25. 15 to 25 is what numbers. Maybe it was 15 to 30. It was in this area. Yeah, 15 to 30, I believe. Yeah, because this is the 30 open here. So when we look at the situational, because of when Theta had its moves and its Bitcoin price, this was the open highs, pullback. November 30th day came up here. So the big 5,000 number was actually a lower high to this previous mark. When against Bitcoin, it was a higher high. Well, big reason for that was Bitcoin was a lower price against the dollar at that point. An attempted breakout that failed, and a huge failed breakdown. And obviously the fast move on this is now starting at its possible epic points. But here we are now at a possible level of resistance. And oftentimes these things might pierce extra. It's also, to me, I'm not seeing monster volume here. So that makes me a little reluctant to think that this thing might be over. If I'm starting to see this thing pull up, and then that just maybe we might be looking at some topping action for the intermediate term timeframes, even a little bit longer. Right now, our comeback area is around here. Whenever you have a big move like this, if it's going to pull back, this would be the area of support. So that'd be in the general area of about 13 low change up to about up 19 cents. I guess 20 conservative number, but but then if this thing goes all the way up to $1, that's the key number, the dollar, I think. Then where do we pull back to, like 25 or 30? Okay, so that's probably what it would do. And probably even go up to like $1.40, $1.60 or 2 or 2.5. And then congest maybe $1, maybe pull back to like 75 cents or 35 cents. Yeah, pull back to 35 cents. That's what these markets do. Big moves up, big moves down. And if it were to do something like that, where we're to go say up to a big level, we just remove all these drawings on here, and if we were to go up to, say, here or something like 190, that would be a nice, noticeable leg higher from this level of resistance. Why does it do that? I don't know. But if it comes back like this, then that would just be coming back to where it came from. And it's not like it's uncommon to do that. And you call me crazy or whatnot, and not like I really... Actually, I know one psychic. But this is a psychic call from the JSNIP Forward channel, really when it came out. Trying to think, Miss White Dove, I think. And I heard recently through the grapevine, or through Joe, I suppose, JSNIP, that each dollar number is going to be a key level, like $1, 10, 100, 1,000 through its time frames. That 1,000 might be, I would have normally said last year, or before the situational event that started really in March, but all year long, that this would happen like the big move. And I'm going to be talking about inflation, deflation in this video, as the title is going to say, since I didn't talk about it in the intro, that this thing wouldn't get to these like $10, $100, $40, $50 levels until at least then. But that time frame, I think, is coming soon. So the potential for these things, I mean, when these things go, they can be wild. We've seen so many cryptocurrencies, especially against the fiat, have moves of like outrageous X proportions. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, it's just that it's been done before. There's announcement dates coming in as well for this. Or just there's things about platforms of what they're doing. Video, it looks like good news, whether it's going to be buy the rumor, sell the news, even positive news situation. I'm kind of hoping that's the case, because what I'm hoping for is that it has a big move up and comes back down. I want the volatility myself as a trader. I don't want this little stuff to go like that. I want the markets to go like that instead, so that I can buy or sell up here and buy back down here. Buy or sell while it's doing that, buy all its way doing that, and so on and so forth. That's what I'm looking to do. So hopefully, I mean, we had a lot of this sideways action. I'm not a big fan of it. At least during this sideways action, I didn't trade against the dollar, but against Bitcoin. There were some up and down moves, but yeah, anyway, let's move on next to Bitcoin. And we'll just do quick on the long-term weekly time frame showing strength amongst the 18 average of highs. That's a bullish sentiment. On the daily term time frame, it is hanging in there more than anything on what already is bullish. However, this bullish run with a declining 18 average by barely, I don't really see that as declining. I see that more as neutral. It hasn't made its move to the highs, but it's not breaking down. This barely rising 18 average of lows is going to start to flatten. So this up move is really starting to flatten out. We haven't even tested this previous low support of 82, but we also haven't tested any of this previous resistance that it tested around the 97 mark as well either. This Fibonacci line in here, I suppose it's doing pretty well since like a couple days ago it came down to this point. It's rallied a little bit from there. But again, just a little bit of that sideways range. I don't need to really show too much short term. But if you see something like this, you got clear support here, clear resistance. If it can get above this level of resistance, we still need to get past this point as well. But let's continue on further. Look at the silver price, which, I mean, what price do I use? Do I use the futures? Do I use the COMEX? Do I use what you buy the physical for? And interestingly, I've bought a little bit recently. I got a Canadian maple today for 30 Canadian dollars, which is like unheard of. So that was pretty awesome. And I got silver quarters at spot. I mean, there's not much time left to be able to get these deals, I think. And I want to talk about deflation and inflation. I think the best word I've been thinking is I think we've already entered it. We're just like weeks into it. Which is the first time in history a global hyperflation. Yep, a global hyperflation. That's the name I want to give it. Not hyperinflation, but hyperflation, which is a combination of deflation and inflation. And I'm going to put up another chart just because I want to put drawing tools up. And I guess gold will do the trick. What I like about this gold chart, just looking at the daily, is the Rudy Gobert lows, or the COVID lows. Just boom, 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 and now it's supporting, it's supporting this level of resistance. Now, lately, it's supporting this level here, so it's pretty nice. Decent look within the 18, but the strength amongst the 18 average of highs has been lost with the last couple of days. Still a good setup, though. And, I mean, on the weekly, monthly, and all these charts, this is extreme strength amongst the 18 average of highs on the weekly chart. This thing, to me, should be ready to get going at any given time for, I think, what potentially could be a big move to the area of, it's very close to it, pretty much at the lower end of it now, of what I consider to be weak resistance, which is previous high at 1900, low change, but inflation, deflation for that of hyperflation. It's really obvious, and it works. It happens all the time in these scenarios. And you know what? I should put up a better chart to explain the situation with initial claims. And what this is how many people claim for initially for unemployment in the United States. And these numbers here are in the 100,000. So this is 450,000. This is like 600,000. And now we've broken to the million. It says 2.4 million, which is the most recent number. If we do the daily chart, I mean, it's hard to read, but especially when I do that. But not really. Okay, I thought that thing was my line here, but it's the 18. Which do we want to do? But just highlight, you can see here that this close here is 3 million on this. So I could add them. It's 40 million-ish or so I've added, I think, quickly in my head. But there was 6 here. And, I mean, this is unemployment we have just never, ever seen. Like, ever. And if you look at the amount of claims we've had just from the start up, I mean, it is noticeably X fields larger, like, I don't know, 2, 3 times larger than these ones in here. And we've broken past this level of resistance that has come into play. No, we don't got the data from the 1930s and late 20s when we had the United States Great Depression. Keyword, United States, shared by others. Canada wasn't hit that hard. Russia really wasn't hit at all. Canada and the prairies. Ooh, it got hit hard apparently from my research, but I guess it was based on the economic cycle. It's just the banks, they didn't do so well in the United States. Today we're in a system where all banking structures are pretty much the exact same. And in the fiat economic debt-based model, it's just been a matter of time for so long. And you go, I mean, I've been talking for 12 plus years on this. Okay, it's just a matter of time. Economic collapse, baby. And yeah, it's happening. It's how much time you got to buy gold, silver, and cryptos. I made a video recently called Last Call because I don't think you have much time. That's my guess at these levels. Anyway, hyperflation. People are going to need to obviously live in the sense that you need to buy food, you need to buy medicine, you need to buy the top, whatever's top on the list you're going to get is what you're going to get. And for some people, they may be getting their drugs and their alcohol and what you might have you. And those could get in the essential list, and that's part of the inflation part, the stuff that people want and are going to be paying for. And the price is becoming higher, unemployment making it more difficult. These are unusual, unreal, on times I wasn't expecting to occur. I truly believe that this situation, well, it cost me in the sports aspect several thousands of dollars, but there's nothing I can do about that. It cost how many other people? Several hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. And to other people's, it cost other people tens of thousands or thousands to the point where they're now suffering so bad. It cost me thousands to the point where, okay, it would have been nice if I would have had hockey and baseball when it was gone, because that's what makes me my profit. But hey, you know what? Baseball's back in Korea. And just to quickly show, this has been my baseball profit so far this year. This is what I was doing in the preseason. Up a couple, this is in dollars, couple hundred, and then it ends. And then Korea baseball comes in and higher highs, higher lows. 3 days in a row, I got some big losses this last week, but yesterday I got some wins back, got 2 of the previous day's losses back. Right now it's 10:35. I'm waiting an hour and a half for these information that I need for just to me do my work. So that's why I'm making a little bit longer of a video, because I got like nothing to do. So I might as well do the video. Anyway, cost me that. And then in trading, I actually just, this is pretty, I'm thinking, how much did this event cost me ratio? Oh my goodness. Because plan, I was hope, I guess you could say, last year, late 2018 and all this is like, okay, it's going to be a while before this thing, when this shit hits the fan kind of deal. No, it hit pretty bad already. Thus, give me 2 years, give me 2.5, 3 years at least. And if I can do trade here, trade that, and then I can just, then silver's not going to get above 40 or 50 until like 3 years from now or whatever. Gold's not going to get above 22,000 even years from now. Gold's going to stay below 10. Silver's going to stay below 30. No, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. And during that time, the plan was trade the cryptos when there's distribution cycles, when the crypto to silver and gold ratios are in my favor. Buy me some gold and silver and do some fun stuff with the cryptos before this happens. I'm believing this cost me close to $5 to $10 million. We'll see in time. But you know what? Whatever. There's nothing that I'm able to do about it, because if we do have this big economic collapse pretty much in the now time, then that's just what it is. So people are going to be buying this. But now let's look at things like comic books. Maybe you got thing like maybe hockey jerseys and basketball jerseys and all these football jerseys. They go for good premiums. You got nice little paintings and even just any items that people don't want. Even nice little real estate's going to be in a deflationary cycle most likely. And especially because in real estate, you got the homeless going up. You have household average per person going up because John Smith or Jane Doe can't afford their rent anymore and they're moving into their parents, or 2 friends are moving together, sharing a spot, splitting rent. A lot more of that is going to be occurring because of that simple fact, and that's going to be a deflationary item. Majority of things are going to be deflationary, I believe, because majority of things are quote-unquote not essential. Now, this could bring a lot of stuff, because stuff that I mentioned, I thought hockey jerseys earlier today. I'm thinking, man, you know what? I might want to invest into that. If I can get some nice hockey jerseys for 30, 40, 50 bucks, yeah. And then I can store them, keep them in good condition, and then maybe 10, 20 years they'll be worth something. Just an idea I was thinking about earlier today. Same thing with hockey cards. Maybe there's a hockey card that goes on the market. The particular grade maybe goes today for, say, $1,000. Maybe you're able to get it for $200. And that's why I say hyperflation. Some of these deflationary moves just might be pretty big, because I do believe now that the intensity of this move, this play I've been expecting for years to be that much bigger. Now within it, you got the spot of within hyperflation. It's a double-edged sword. Let's just imagine you're talking about you are selling baseball cards, or you're selling comics, you're selling jerseys, you're selling anything that's going to not sell too much. Now you got a big inventory. So you got, like, say, a big inventory here. You got all of these different items that you got to clear out. And you got competition selling the exact same things or similar things as you are. Ooh, baby. So that means that's going to be supply and demand. When the demanders, or the demand, and I have to say demanders, just the via polar opposite of suppliers. That's why I say it for demanders. I did a video like that, suppliers and demanders, probably back like 10 years ago. If you search money chart suppliers and demanders, you might find it, but whatever. So within it, you have these ones, all these people selling the stuff, and there used to be all these people coming in, now they're not coming in. But more so, now you got the double-edged effect. Now you got these people that bought it that need to buy the things that they need to have. You need to buy all that stuff, and they sell those things, and that just will just add extra influence to the deflationary cycle. And now let's talk about two levels of income. One, middle class to not quite upper middle class, and then upper middle class and better, or higher. For the middle class, they're going to be taking a very big hit at this stage. Or at this stage now where if they decide, if they want to, it's up to them, of course. Maybe they watch Hidden Secrets of Money. Maybe they want to buy some gold, some silver, some cryptos. And the best thing about cryptos, and I think I'd be a good financial advisor, not like I am one, whatever, that if you have whatever amount of income, how much do you really need to allocate into it? When you got these cryptos that are going to be doing like these 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 sick-ass gains, and Bitcoin doing like 20, 30x gains that are possible, I mean, you don't have to put much in it. You can put like a small, like 4, 5, 6%, 7% and do a lot of damage with it on your investment level. And thus, you're not even really, I mean, it's just me saying your own risk reward, yada, yada, yada. I don't care what you do because I'm just here killing time. It's 10:40 p.m. waiting till 12 to do some work. But I mean, it's whatever you want to do. I do whatever I want to do because my own risk reward management is job number one. I don't care about really anyone else's. I know in the market only price pays, and my end of the price is what I'm looking for. Every trade has a buyer and seller. If I'm in it, I'll be one or the other, and someone else will be the other part of it. Anyway, yes. So the upper class and middle class. So the middle class are going to have a difficult time with it. They're not going to have it's going to be hard for them to get into these precious metals and stuff like that. And if they have some, they might sell it, but how much of it do they really have in the sense that, yeah, some of it they've been trying to prepare and they might not be able to survive. I understand that part. They've been holding silver and gold for a while, but that's going to be a low percentage versus what I would consider from the higher class field. Putting in decent amounts, what I believe, into gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies. And you figure how many people have net savings of 80,000, six figures, high six figures, low million, low seven figures, I guess. High mid seven figures, high seven figures, 8 figures, mid 8 figures. And as Mike Maloney, one of my favorite vloggers is stating, what's a trillion? 1 followed by 12 keystrokes. But you know what, though? That's a lot of work putting 12 keystrokes in. I don't know about that. It might be 1 followed by a T. Or maybe 1.243 T. And that's just less keystrokes. Maybe they only want to do like $1,243 billion as an example. And they just put 1.234 T, enter, password, 1234, enter, confirm, yes, and it's sent. It's done. And of course, 1234 is our password. Why wouldn't it be? What else? What else do you use as passwords? A, B, C, D? Well, why not? I'm sarcastic on that, of course. So, in that, I'm starting to see a lot of that now. So, how long it's going to last, don't know, but it's never ever happened on this global level, never at this volume level like we've seen before. After the great hyperflationary cycles end, probably leading into hyperinflation after that. And during a lot of those times, if we get into situations of quote unquote black markets because of what people call socialistic measures, meaning price fixing, and not only for fixing for price, but quantity fixing as well, which creates a lot of black market opportunities. Maybe payments are done in different ways. Silver, gold, cryptos, yada yada. And new societies keep on developing and working on. And we'll see how the future holds. I've been fortunate. I don't know what's going to happen as we move in the future, how these things are going to hold. And I was even wondering how sports was going to do for years based on the economic collapse. I haven't talked much about because I realize when the time is ready to talk about, hence now, then I'll do so. 2017, 18, 19, I do my videos about gold and silver. Yeah, gold's 14 or silver's 14 or 16 or whatever it is, 17, and yeah, when it's ready to go, it's going to go, but there's no signs yet, and well, the signs have happened, and they happen in a fast and furious level. Theta crossing 36.33. That scared the living shit out of me, actually. Okay, let's take a look at it. Man, I don't want to sell much theta, though. I got to sell some. I sold some before the video, maybe a half hour before the video. I got a good move, a 30+% trade differential against Tezos. Next trade I got to make is against Bitcoin Cash, and then maybe against LITECOIN, and then maybe something against PivX, and I got a whole bunch of crosses on it. A good holding, but one of my favorite ones. Tezos as well. That's why I don't mind. These are some coins I don't mind turning theta into. It's just fun actually for me to turn them into Bitcoin Cash and Tezos because those are the three favorite coins with Litecoin as well. Those four are the coins I'm just really pumped to hold. We're I traded this against PivX or Gross Coin, whatever. It's GRS I know is ranked 290 something the other day. Yeah, but 290 goes to 80. That's a big move higher kind of deal, and I know that's happened before. But I realized if one of those coins GRS goes to nothing, then you know what? As long as if a small percentage or whatever percentage does it, risk reward management for me. Oh man, this is just so bullish. How can I sell at 36.51? No. It's barely broken. No, I can't. 15-minute time frame. Look at this quick recovery. Comes to the 18 highs. It doesn't spend much time in the area where it comes from. Doesn't even come close to the lows, let alone the closes. Then a quick close to 100% retracement, and 100% retracement on the 1-minute term time frame. One boom and that. Yeah, it's come on. It didn't resist here at 36.20, 36.30. I'm sort of respecting weak resistance here. Maybe not so much on the 1. But probably on the 15 an hour, I am expecting weak resistance. Yeah, big time weak. So what? Maybe we come back to a rising 18 highs and a higher low. But what's the potential for where this is going to go? And I know it's probably going to be 5,000, and I know it's going to 5,000. I keep on selling here and there, and I could just wait, just not have sold none of it now, and just wait to sell. But hey, it all works mathematically and timing anyway. This thing, it's broken this level of resistance. This is what it comes down to. I talk so much about the channel, but there's just bad times to sell. This looks like one of them. 38, man. I'm not going to sell anything more till 38. And I want good gains, and 38, that's 150 more, so that's another 4%. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This thing is just out of control. I think it's going to reach, we're hitting this resistance, we're 38, 39 is this, but 5,000 just seems like I've thought that for so long, that's where it's going to go. Anyway, I'm going to do what I need to do. This was raw work for me that I didn't plan, really, on talking too much about. But, yeah, it's a serious time after. Yeah, because for me, it was back in. This is the whole way I look at it. Yada yada kind of stuff. 1999, 2000, I couldn't care less really about science. At all. Really, not at all. Couple things changed that for me, though. And science when I was in school, last time I took science was grade 9. I think I got 61%, and that was a pass, at least in my neck of the woods. So that's it. I was done for science. And then 2001 happened, but that wasn't when I got back into science. There was a big event in 2001 that happened in the 9th month and the 11th day. Yet, how did so many people, myself included, not figure out that, maybe because I was sucked at science, but that those whatchamacallit thingies couldn't go down at that mile per hour rate that it did. Okay, yada yada. I mean, there's these architects for our engineers for that number truth. Yeah, so be it. But of course, what went on with that? And I remember back in 2000 and yada yada 8 or 9. Well, when Obama was first president, Charlie Sheen, I think it was, 20 minutes with the president regarding that situation on the 11th day, 9 month, and no answer, reply back from. I mean, I was waiting for it, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. 8 years of presidency, no reply back, yada yada. And even then I was seeing stuff like how, like, they said on a European BBC broadcast about one of these things, like this event happened at like, it was something that happened like in the middle of the afternoon or late in the afternoon, and they said it like 20 minutes early or something, like cause like they're good psychic predictors and whatever. Of course, the whole point of that is, well, it gets you to realize that behind those TV sets and everything, those agenda words and deciding what you may and definitely may not get as well becomes something into play. And then whatever's happening this year, and well, once you lose someone's trust, you got to earn it back. And when you're doing the exact same shit, well, you're doing the exact same shit. Anyway, yeah, so that's part of why I've seen that for why I love science, because of like the physics to the miles per hour of how fast something happened. Twice or 3 times, really. 3 times it happened, yeah. Twice right beside each other. And then silver in 2007 and 8 and 9 and 10, really. I mean, especially 2007, 8, 9. And you learn the AG, the 47, AU 63. Periodic table of elements. I mean, I didn't give a shit about that the entire 1990s. And then for me in school, I've been meaning to talk about this as well. I really went high in what I wanted to do, and it's no surprise I'm good at this now when you see what I took. Because school is all about electives. And I mean, grade 1 through 8, you just go to school every day and you do everything. You do your, like, well, en français, English, math, science, history, everything that's phys ed, everything that's included. And then grade 9, it's 8 classes, 4 in each semester. And you get to choose your electives. Like, well, in grade 9, I remember taking typing in grade 9. I went to a Catholic school in grade 9, so I was only allowed 1 elective because I was forced into religion. That was the last time I took that. French was the first one. That was the last time I took it in grade 9. But grade 10, I started taking things like, well, keyboarding too. The first time I had to do it on a typewriter in grade 9. I could type about 40 words a minute in grade 9. I got up to 50 words a minute in grade 10. Grade 10 was on the old version. It wasn't even, what was the first? WordPerfect, I think, was the first one. Lotus 1, 2, 3. I took those in grade 10 and 11 type thing, and they were the early versions even before then that I used. But yeah, I took information systems, which was like just using programs on the computer in high school, computer programming. I took accounting in grade 10, 11, 12, and 13. I took entrepreneurship studies. I took English over once because I had a really bad grade in grade 12, and to get a better mark on my what they call it, like a list of your whole credentials. I just wanted to get a better score, and I did. Counting twice, and I actually went to marketing. I took marketing, but yeah, all business, all mathematical stuff like that, and all computer based. It was what I did, and like a lot of accounting, a lot of computers. Computer classes, I tried a bunch of different things. General business more than anything. Accounting, more towards accounting, though, accounting degree. Then I tried computer programming for a little bit, and yeah, two bunch of things happened. That was it for school. I only did 1 semester, and I failed the last time I went to school. I was just to do it again after I already had a degree. And I also failed a CGA class once. Man, that was hard. But there's no teacher either. And speaking of teaching, which I find very interesting, is, yeah, we're in a day and age where I think we're going to be in a Coke Pepsi section, and Coke Pepsi meaning 2 relatively close guys fighting each other. Hopefully, I think with Theta and YouTube, but I'm not talking about that. But a Coke Pepsi situation in that with the schooling the traditional way, a teacher and several students in a classroom, like the grade 1 through 8s, your high school, your traditional colleges and private schools, but homeschooling to be significantly going up, as well as self-learning and homeschooling with the self-learning tools available via the internet. And I brag to myself, because I think it's true, that I think I would be a damn good financial advisor as far as just helping people decide. I mean, a lot of it's all diversification and just understanding the system, controlling your own money, understanding the money situation, and being in the most control that you can. I think I would just kick ass at it, but you know what? That's just me saying. And for me, before the previous decade, in the early parts of the 2000s, the first decade of the 2000s, I didn't give a crap about the economy, and I wish I did. I gave a crap about, well, my jobs that I had, because I need to work when I didn't have as much cash back then. And I wasn't that, well, I was the early days of gambler, but that was it. I was a gambler. Bet on sports and play poker. Now, I didn't really win on sports too much other than Ovechkin's rookie season. I only bet on Ovechkin to beat in a player prop, the player he was up against for most goals in the game. He was damn good. I actually profited pretty well doing that prop throughout the season. I mean, it was cool. I mean, literally, I would be like, oh yeah, let's bet on Ovechkin plays tonight. Put the bet down. I think it was $100 or $200, boom. And then done, you forget about it, you play your poker. Next day, it's like 3 p.m. Oh yeah, Ovechkin played yesterday. How did I do? Oh, did pretty good. I guess I won again. Or I pushed. A lot of pushes too, because neither score, they both score 1. And that's the things that I just played that. Then all of a sudden, back in like 2000, like the late part of 2000s, that's pretty much any of the poker days. And not because, well, I guess, not really because I was losing, because I was just on a cold streak at the time, so it doesn't count. But I had a big spiritual awakening, followed by a consciousness awakening of this stuff going on in 2007. First, the spiritual awakening happening, really starting in February, March, making an ultimate peak in May. And then the awakening of the world was October the 30th, 2007. Thank you, Ian Crossland, as he still is, but doesn't put much video out. But back in 2006 and 7, and even into 8, oh boy, this guy put out a lot of videos that I loved. And this was a long time ago. And Ian Crossland, October 30, Synchronization was the video, and he gets really, really emotional to a good degree, and then I loved it. And, colony collapse disorder, what the hell is that? That led to one thing to another, and actually, at that point, I was kind of getting it a bit because I was studying economics as far as the markets. It's like I was looking to get into trading the markets at that time. That was my next goal, to be a market trader. When October 30th, 2007 occurred, I was training for that. And I was understanding the gold and silver markets, but I really wasn't understanding the fact of what money was. I was realizing that the stock market was looking to roll over. I wasn't looking at a market crash on that day, I don't think. I might have been, though. Definitely by like November, December, January it was. But the thing about it is there's a lot of the stuff that I learned, or my spiritual awakening, which is really, really interesting. Like stuff that is like metaphysical. You can almost call it psychic, but not really. It's even stronger than that. And it only happened once for 6 days. I don't understand how it happened, but I remember a decent amount of it. And then that great information that was like, came in like months later, like I don't know what, it might have been like November or whatever, December of 2017. I found a random 1.5 hour video of a lecture, which was, it's actually the Mayan calendar when it came down to it, but it was a lot of it is misinformation on this. Really got to what I needed to get to. It was like, oh my goodness, this is the exact same stuff, and this is crazy. And I got a lot more than what you're talking about. This is greater for me. Knowing I can expand what I got from that, it was actually really amazing. And we're actually living through this kind of stuff now. I kind of should get into it more in a bit. But if it is, it is. Anyway, 40 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.